We're live? All right. We're live. We are live streaming, my friends, our Facebook devotion here tonight. So bear with us. We're testing some new software, but we're really glad to be with you. I'm Pastor Matthew, and this is our weekly devotion here at St. Andrew. I hope that all of you had a really fantastic Easter. I'll tell you, from this side of the chancel, it was so meaningful to see so many faces here in person, here at St. Andrew. And I know that there were so many more also who were gathered online. It was this great moment of being the church together once again and celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. Tonight for our devotion, this afternoon for our devotion, I wanted to share one of the stories, one of my favorite stories of Jesus after the Easter morning story. The story we know so well, right? When Mary Magdalene, the women, arrive to the tomb and it's empty. And they go and they tell the other disciples that Jesus is alive. Well, the other disciples are visited in several stories that appear all across the Gospels, and we're actually going to be studying each of those stories over the next few weeks in church on Sunday mornings in a sermon series called The Other Side. So I hope that you'll join us this Sunday as we look at one of those stories, another next Sunday. Come on down. We're going to look at each of those stories week by week. But today, I want to tell you a story that for some reason doesn't appear in the common lectionary this year. It's the story of the road to Emmaus. Maybe you have heard this story before. But the disciples are walking from Jerusalem to Emmaus, and they are completely dejected. They're terribly sad, just torn apart because the person that they had rested all of their hopes upon had been crucified. The person that they thought was going to change the world for the better was dead. And all of a sudden a stranger, and it just says in the text, a stranger comes alongside of them and asks them, well, guys, why are you so sad? And they look at him like he's from Mars. Where have you been? Did you not hear about Jesus of Nazareth, who healed and taught and was crucified? And he continues, this stranger, to actually teach the scriptures, open up what the meaning of the Bible is for these two walking along the road. And these two still don't realize who's walking next to them until they finally get to sit down for a meal. They invite this stranger in for a meal. And it says that in the breaking of the bread that they realized it was Jesus who was standing and walking with them all along. It's around this meal, a table, where they actually meet the resurrected Christ. Last week, Diana Butler Bass, who's written sometimes and presented for Church Anew, wrote an article that we just republished this week today that really recalls the fact that Jesus' ministry at the table might be at the centerpiece of this Holy Week story. That so much of Jesus' life and ministry was gathering people around meals. So much of Jesus' life and ministry was setting a table for people who might not have been welcome at the table otherwise. And I wanted to share a story from Thursday night. We had our first communion kids gathered here. And many of you were in attendance, a great crowd here in the room, and I know lots of grandparents and others gathered online. It was a really lovely evening where we celebrated the Last Supper of Jesus and gave to so many first graders all the way up to fifth and sixth graders their very first taste of this meal of grace and mercy. And we gathered right around the altar behind me, all of these kids. They touched the altar, they helped tell the story of the Last Supper, and then received this meal of wonder and grace and love. And my friends, I was just trying to keep it together, not to be bawling through the whole thing. Because that's what Jesus is doing today, is setting a table for us. Here at St. Andrew, in our church community, God is setting a table of welcome here at worship, a table of welcome in our activities, in our Bible studies, in our youth groups, a table of welcome in our community, where we might sit down with people who think and believe and behave differently, but we might see each other in the light of this resurrected Christ who is making all things new. So thanks for joining us for this sermon series coming up, The Other Side, where we will walk through all of these stories of Jesus appearing when we least expect him. We'll see you at church on Sunday. Is that good?